it's like, oh, where's the rest of the gas pedal? Just not quite enough. Welcome back to the channel, folks. It is a beautiful day here in March. Had a nice heavy wet snowstorm, as you can tell. There's a good amount of snow piled up still, and it's been melting for several days now. So it's been good finally get some moisture and to finally get to use the plow on the Can-Am Defender. Compared to last year, we've gotten just no snow. So I haven't got to use this as much as I wanted to. And it sucks for me to obviously pay so much for this thing and not be able to use it, but also I've been enjoying making content with it, and when it sits in the garage it's hard to make videos. But anyways, I've been noticing a lot of views, a lot of comments on the video I did about the 2023 Limited Defender behind me on the 5 things I hate about it. And after owning this thing for just a hair over a year now, when I made that first video, I'd only owned it for a few months, and now that I've had it for a full year, I feel like I can maybe add to that video a little bit. And maybe not things that I hate about it, but here's what I hope that Can-Am will change, say, in 2025 with the next lineup of Defenders, or whenever they truly do a full refresh on this model. And there's just a few things. I want to point them out, and you guys can let me know what you think. And if anybody from Can-Am is checking it out, also, I'd love to hear your feedback. All right, let's get into it. Well, we're going to jump inside here for the first one, and this is something that I feel like I've noticed a little bit more as I've owned it. And somebody recently dropped a comment asking about how well everything seals up in here. And I got to say, initially, I had no complaints, and that's why it didn't get put in my first video. But I've noticed a couple things, and you'll see why I have a towel up here. Is because when I was plowing with the snow, it's probably hard to get a camera angle, but you can see a pretty good gap right there. And so in camera, it's hard to tell, but maybe right there you can see it's bigger than you think. And you know, this windshield opens up, right? You can pop it open like this. And I'm not sure if doing that over the summertime a few times has caused that, but there's a pretty good gap there. And I think on this side, it is also, it's just hard to get an angle with the phone, but you can kind of see some light there. From my side, it's not as bad as the driver's, but you can still see some daylight there. And that just, you know, when you're driving in the snow, I was getting little flurries of snow kind of coming up here. So I've had to shove this towel in here. And that's just kind of frustrating to me. Again, I get it, the windshield moves, and this isn't a truck like that or anything, but for $30,000 and how nice this glass really is, I just wish some of those spots weren't there. All right, so in the driver's seat, you can see everything looks pretty sealed up around the door, right? No issues. But on the passenger side, I noticed I'm getting a lot of daylight on this side, and I'm not sure, again, trying to get some angles, there you go. I'm not sure if that is disuse, but this door really does not get open that much. And the seal, you know, it's healthy, it looks good. And let me make sure I can close this. Even if you slam it shut, you're still getting quite a bit of gap there. And I just feel like maybe I didn't notice that a long time ago, and I was just too excited to own this thing. But yeah, that's kind of frustrating. So from the exterior, I noticed you can actually see some of that daylight as well. So I'm gonna talk to some guys I know and see if maybe this can be adjusted a little bit. Just, I don't know, I feel like maybe the door's just off a hair. Let me know what you guys think, if you've had this issue, if you've been able to adjust them. All right, so in the first video about the 5 things I hate, I talked about the headlights, how I truly hated how dull those headlights were. So we have our good friends at Oxbeam hooked us up with some bulbs, and they made a huge difference. And I gotta say, that was a game changer. But after owning it again and using it for what I use it for, I realized that not just the front lights and being able to see out the front is important, but when I'm plowing and I'm got all this space, right? I mean, we go all the way down the road and we have all this land. When you're backing up pitch black in the middle of winter and it's dark at 5 o'clock, it would be nice to have some reverse lights. Now, again, thanks to our good friends at Oxbeam, we do think we have a solution that might be getting some fabrication and work done to alleviate that issue. But I really wish there was an integrated reverse light, anywhere really. I mean, these could kind of be cut in half or C-shaped with a LED reverse light there, just something to get some light behind you, because again, most of the time you're working in these things, and if you live in places like I live, it gets dark pretty early in the winter time, and being able to see behind you is crucial. So that is just something that, again, I don't hate it as much as I hated the headlights, because they already had the headlights and those should have been bright to begin with. This is just something I would like to see improved. Staying on topic with the light theme here, and I know you guys must think I'm obsessed with lights, but it's really not that. What I would really like to see improved, and we kind of talked about this in the 5 things I hate as far as like the tech goes, right? Like, if you guys didn't see that, this is the control for heat and AC, and it works. It's just nothing fancy compared to like the North Stars, and you get this little screen, which is very basic. But something I'd like to see improved is, you got these 2 switch panels here and 3 here, and then there is 4 up there. So what I would ask for, and I think it would be really cool, and part of the reason I haven't done some of the work that I already have lined out, but I'm going to have somebody else do it for me probably, is I wish these panels, or at least a couple of them, had places in the front that were already wired for switching. So you could just hook up to the battery, hook up to where you wanted, your switch to go, and it's already pre-wired. I know like the Raptors and some of these trucks, right, they have the auxiliary switches and they're already basically wired and ready to go. It would be cool to have that here. All right, final thing that I'm going to talk about. Let's jump inside, close the seats, whip out the old keys. Shout out Street Speed for the key tag. All right, let's start this thing up. Again, really would like the tech to improve from like a technology visual aspect. Everything works, right? We'll winch up, and we'll set off here. Again, for what I feel is the thing I'd like to see changed the most. But before we talk about that, throw her in low. Didn't really let it heat up, but let's just rip it anyways through this snow here. Go for a drive. All right, so now we got out of the driveway and down into the main road. Let's talk about what I want to chat about here. I forgot the high gear. So the power of this thing is what I want to talk about. Now, obviously, we got a lot of snow the other day. I mean, not a lot. It's already melted quite a bit, but a decent amount. Is wet and heavy. I have not really experienced a moment where I was plowing with this and I thought, man, I really for sure need more power. There's been a couple times where it would have been nice, but we're still limited by the tires and the weight of the machine to be able to push heavy snow. It's not just power. If you're spinning all the tires, you could have all the power in the world and it would make a difference. But I would like it to be a little more powerful because, I'm a typical American and I think it would just be nice to have more power. And again, I live at high elevation. I think that makes a difference. These naturally aspirated engines, I think a turbo model would be cool, or a 1500 model, 1500cc model like Polaris is doing with their heavy duty one would be cool. But we're going uphill, obviously. But let's floor it. That's foot to the floor. Again, uphill. We'll do another pole where it's flat. It's not terrible. I don't want to complain too much because it's not something that really bothers me. But there are times where I've driven it where I'm like, oh man, I wish I just had a little bit more get up and go, especially going uphill. It kind of dogs out a little bit. I'll show you here in a bit. So, for instance, here's a hill we're talking about. We're going 20 miles an hour. I'll keep it at close to 20, as you can see down there in the bottom right. And I'm gonna get it up there, and then I'll floor it right here. Flooring it. It's like, oh, where's the rest of the gas pedal? Just not quite enough to get up these hills at crazy speed, which I don't want to do crazy speed. I like the torque, and when I'm flooring it, there's like no torque in that mid-range. So like from a stop, it kind of throws you back a little bit for what it is. But it's when you're already kind of moving, like even 10 miles an hour here, floor it kind of picks up there. And again, I'm being petty here because it's a side-by-side that's a utility vehicle, it's not a, you know, the Maverick or something like that. But here's a flat spot here. All right, so 3, 2, 1, flooring it. So again, not terrible. It's just I'm a typical dude, you know, just we could always use more power, right? More power is never a problem. As Jeremy Clarkson once said, or said many times, speed and power. Since I didn't plow the road to the driveway, to the second driveway, I should say, did a little off-road, throwing some snow. That is not something I can complain about, is how it handles messy, slushy stuff. Just a few things that I hope maybe in 2025 that we can get in the next version of the Can-Am Defender. I really like this thing. Please don't take these videos the wrong way, especially Can-Am. If you're watching, this thing is freaking awesome, and I would buy it over again. And I can't wait to see what does come next. These are just some items that I hope do get changed. Of course, my last video that I talked about, you know, the 5 things that I hate about it. There are things I do hope they change on that. The locks, right? I've seen a lot of people comment on my comment about not having locks. I hope they change that. Really something that I think a lot of people find important. So hopefully they make that change. And just the little minor things I talked about today. Again, with new technology coming out, the power part, that should be easy. Everything's getting more power in today's world, and they're packaging in small, really awesome engines, and I think Can-Am can do it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will catch you on the next one. If you have some comments about what you would like to see on this machine, please drop them below. I would love to make those videos for you. All right, take it easy.